Hey everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Follow Me 11B. Discussions on current events, macroeconomics, and freedom and liberty from a veteran's perspective. Today I wanted to discuss an article I came across in the Wausau Daily Herald newspaper, Sunday, July 24th, 2022 edition, in the Explore section. Last page includes the classifieds. Yes, there are still classifieds in the newspapers. But this article is entitled, Labor Market Extends Its Record-Setting Heat Streak. And it is from the ZipRecruiter.com website, and the author it published is ZipRecruiter.com. It goes like this. The labor market conditions Fed Chair Jerome Powell has described as extremely historically tight and unsustainably hot persisted in May, according to the May JOLTS report, released today by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. We now have 6 straight months of more than 11 million job openings and 12 straight months of more than 4 million people voluntarily quitting their jobs. This is a sign of high job seeker confidence, signaling continued upward pressure on wages and likely future increases in labor force participation. There were 11.3 million job openings, 61% more than before the CV-19 pandemic, and almost twice as many as the number of unemployed job seekers. And 4.3 million workers quit their jobs. Those numbers are near all-time record highs. Meanwhile, layoffs and discharges remained historically low at 1.4 million, well below the pre-CV-19 average of 1.9 million, an indication that employers are hanging on to workers they have in a tight labor market where replacing them is usually costly. Job openings quits figures from the April report were revised upwards. Here are the key takeaways from the report. Small business demand for workers remains intense, with job openings reaching an all-time record high. At 1.8 million, job openings are at a record high in small businesses with fewer than 10 employees. According to the NFIB's Small Business Jobs Report, labor shortages continue to be a challenge, with 51% of small businesses reporting job openings they could not fill in May. 51%. Jeez. Near the 48-year record set in September. Wow, 51% wasn't even the record. Crazy. Let's see here. Of those owners or trying to hire reported set in September. Oh, okay. Sorry. 92% of those owners hiring or trying to hire reported few or no qualified applicants for the positions that they were trying to fill. Overall, 2 in 3 small businesses reported hiring or trying to hire in May, up 8 points from April. So small business demand for labor is showing no signs of cooling. There is no evidence of mass layoffs in tech, but labor market conditions in the tech sector do appear to be cooling slightly. The job openings rate in the information sector slowed to 7.4% from 8.4% in April, and the hires rate declined slightly to 3.4% from 3.5%. The layoff rate has been picking up for the last 3 months. It was 0.8 in March, 0.8 in April, 1.0 in May. However, it is still lower than the 2021 average of 1.1 for the layoff rate. The rapid increase in mortgage rates is dampening worker confidence in real estate and financial services. Quits fell 41% in real estate. Wow, that's saying something. And rental and leasing, a sign that workers in that industry, the real estate and rental and leasing industry, no longer confident that they will be able to find a new job if they leave their current positions. Market conditions have cooled very quickly, with large declines in home purchases and mortgage applications, as mortgage rates have risen faster than ever before. Layoffs also spiked 71% in finance and insurance, and some firms in the industry try to cut costs. I would say just about all the firms in the industry are trying to cut costs. So, as you may have noticed, if you've been anywhere in the last 2 years, including like today, we've still got a massive worker shortage. I mean, you're seeing now hiring signs in like every single storefront, every single restaurant you go to, now hiring, posting even the starting wage, which you never saw before. All the CV-19 pandemic started and the so-called Great Resignation began. So just talking a little bit about the quits rate that fell 41% in real estate and rental leasing. And then we're talking a little bit about the decline. Well, market conditions have cooled very quickly with the large declines in home purchases and mortgage applications as mortgage rates have risen faster than ever before. Well, since March 2020, the rate was at zero. We've got the lower end and the higher end of the Fed rate, and the low end was zero. The high end was 0.25%, and that's used to set up a lot of different interest rates for credit cards, mortgages, etc. So it was set at 0 to 0.25% all the way up until like March 2022 this year. Currently, we are now at a low end of 1.5%, a high end of 1.75% for as of June 2022. So, in my opinion, Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to continue in their effort to combat inflation. Although I think that, as Peter Schiff has kind of famously been cited at and says frequently in his podcasts, they're either going to lose the fight, but a lot of people think they're going to lose the fight, but Peter Schiff believes they're really not even going to really try. He used to think they weren't going to increase the rate at all, but obviously that's not exactly panned out. They've done some rate increases, but I mean, when the official rate of inflation is 9.1% and their current rate is 1.5 to 1.75%, and they're talking about another 0.75% increase, or maybe even a 1% increase next increase. Wow, we're going to be up to 2.5%, 2.75%, and when the rate of inflation is 9.1%, we're still way underwater as far as that goes, and that's not going to do the job, in my opinion, and in Peter Schiff's opinion, if I were to speak for him right now. However, that said, I do believe they're going to keep trying to raise interest rates until the wheels fall off this thing, which might be sooner rather than later, but I do think that they're going to keep trying to do this. Jerome Powell is going to probably do that 0.75% or maybe 1% interest rate hike next FOMC meeting. However, that is definitely cooling the mortgage industry, and it's cooling. It's going to cool even more if they raise it again, or even in the months to follow, if they continue down this road until the wheels fall off, as they say. But let's get to a few quick numbers here. Let's see here. We've got according to Fortune magazine, Fortune.com, I should say. I think they still come out in a magazine form. Workers are looking for higher pay, better benefits, better work environment, better work fulfillment, job fulfillment, and that is one of the big keys to this Great Resignation. They've kind of figured they're in the driver's seat now. They can dictate some of the things that they are looking for. Are more flexibility is desired. Remote work, for example, personalized hours. They don't want to work 9 to 5 business hours. They want to maybe choose their hours. Maybe they want to work 9 to noon, 9 to 2, 9 to 3, and then get their kids off the bus, and then maybe come back from 4 to 6, etc., 4 to 7. Let's see. That said, job list. This is interesting. With all the talk of the Great Resignation and the things that workers are resigning for, and they're more than happy to not go back to the workforce until they get what they want. That said, job list reports analyzing a June report. 26% of those surveyed who quit regretted their decision to quit. And also reported by Jobless from their June numbers, their June surveys they took, 42% who got new jobs said that it had failed to be what they thought it would be. So, in my opinion, right now we're careening towards a giant recession that we're probably already in, but maybe even worse than a recession. But in my opinion, recession coming soon. And if we're not already there, we will be there soon. So, in my opinion, smart idea to hold on to the job you've got now. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? And as George Gammon on his Rebel Capitalist channel says frequently, this job glut, this worker shortage could turn into a worker glut soon, with more people looking for work than there are jobs available. So, in my opinion, keep what you got now. If you want to look for a better job, great, but don't quit and then look, and then once you find it, then quit. But that's all for now. I'd love to hear your comments on the topic of the labor market as it stands in America today. And in the meantime, we are growing. We are at YouTube, Facebook, Gettr, and Twitter at FollowMe11B. We are also at The Real FollowMe11B on Instagram and on Rumble. And we will see you all on the next video.